So this video is about what the future is for like the car that I'm currently driving versus what I want to be driving and all that stuff. Hey guys, so we were just watching TJ's video, so I thought it was interesting because we were talking to him in the pits and he was telling me about his Supra, and I asked him about it, you know, and he was like explaining how like it's basically a stock car. I mean, actually this is the perfect shot. If you look inside of his car, like everything looks pretty well stock, right? A roll cage, a seat, and then most everything is stock, which I love that. I think that's awesome, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. Basically, like this isn't part of what I'm talking about, but like he just had a bunch of electrical problems because it's basically a stock new car with as much stuff deleted as they can. And so he's still running into issues. The point of his video here is like the car went into limp mode again. Like he's killing it, he's driving amazing, he does really well in that car. But then like I think he just bumps the guy a little bit and then probably set off some yaw sensor or something and the car goes into limp mode and then he loses his battle because of that stuff. That's not relevant to what I'm saying. Basically, like if you guys watched my last video, I put the title of the video, like, I kind of want to retire my S13. And I want to go a little bit more in depth about that. As I was watching this, I just thought about it, like, you know what? I want to talk about that a little bit more. So this video is about what the future is for, like, the car that I'm currently driving versus what I want to be driving and all that stuff. But basically, I pulled the truck in to work on it. We have hot pit in 2 weeks. Today's Friday, so 2 weeks.
No, yeah.
Less than 2 weeks. We have to get...
A little over 2 weeks.
A little less than 2 weeks. Because we have to be there Friday. Today's Friday.
Oh yeah, it is Friday.
Yeah. So
I forgot which day it was. I thought it was like Tuesday or something.
So luckily we don't have a lot to do on the car. Jake just made a list of stuff to do on the car. We can talk about that in a second. But the main thing is the truck was a huge problem. I'm going to focus on the truck. Jake's going to focus on the car. To be fair, I feel like I have a lot more work to do on the truck than we have to do on the race car. But honestly, like I'm stoked because the race car did its job. Like it had almost no problems, right?
Yeah.
What did we have? We had
one bolt, a tension rod bolt. That's right.
It's funny. I literally, this is where I keep them. I have like 20 of these bolts sitting around, and this is what we needed. Rudy had one, so we went and stole it from Rudy. Then gave it back to him because he wasn't very happy that we took his only bolt. So we're gonna carry an extra one with us now. But this is literally, I think, the only problem we had all weekend, right? Other than a loose wheel bearing, but we just powered through it. If you guys watched the last hot pit, Jake was pounding wheel bearings and doing all that stuff, and we ended up getting one from Jason, Rival Auto Works. And I think Jake told me, hey, we need a wheel bearing, and then I forgot. And so Jake knew we needed one. We left without one. He asked me to bring one. I should have brought one, didn't bring it. That's where we're at now. We need an extra wheel bearing. But my point is, the car was really reliable, right? Other than
just heat, just battling the heat,
cooling it down, right? Yeah. I mean, that was the only issue. The gearing was on. Like the gearing choice that you made was like the differential worked, the transmission worked, the engine worked, the clutch worked, like everything.
Yeah. No running problems.
We had the fuel pump problems before, which is fixed.
Yeah, water pumps, all good.
New water pump, other than them bleeding it that night. Like we know how to do that now. So we solved all those little issues. Like super reliable car. But for some reason, I still don't enjoy driving it. I didn't feel comfortable in it. I didn't like getting the groove. And what tripped me off on that was watching this video with TJ in his car. And I think kind of what I've come to realize is that the best cars I've had recently, the most success I've had in cars, you remember, Jesse? What was it?
Shark car.
Shark car. Full interior, right? No roll cage. Like basically a stock interior, not super modified, with a good engine and a good setup, right? And then budget car.
Was it budget car?
It was one of the two. Either way, I almost can't tell the difference between those cars because they were so similar to me. I was able to drive them really well, and I'm looking at, okay, what's the difference between those and this 750 horsepower dog box quick change car that I have? Why am I not comfortable in that car? Why don't I do well? Why don't I like drive? I do all right, like it's not bad, but why don't I enjoy driving it? There's something about it that makes me not like, you know, when you get to the line as a driver, you want to be in the right headspace. And I wasn't there. And so I'm thinking, I was like, spending a lot of time thinking about that. And I feel like, why do I love the Chaser so much right now? Full interior, comfortable. Like, it's just like, And so maybe there's something I'm missing there with like,
It still feels like a car.
yeah, and I've always liked that. Even in my pro car, I have full door panels. We built the roll cage to have full door panels. I tried to keep it as much that way as possible, but like it feels like a full race car, and it should. But maybe that's why like I'm drawn to driving the Chaser instead of that car. So I don't know what the solution is, but
Street drift.
yeah, that's kind of the point of this video. So I'm gonna start working on the truck and come up with some more talking points.
Come on with me.
Jamming with Jake. Driving with Jake. We didn't figure that out.
It's jiving.
Driving with Jake.
Yeah. Driving with Jake. Episode 3. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe 4. Anyways. We got the pro car in its living quarters. It's got to find a place in the shop whenever it comes. It's usually not the same place, but somewhere, because it doesn't have windows. We've had a lot of rain for some weird reason, like more rain than a whole summer. So it's a good thing it's in here. But we got a little list of things that we need to do. We got the right front tension rod bolt we need to change. That's super easy. The biggest, probably the longest thing that's going to take place to try to do is I want to get water sprayers hooked up on the radiators so we can get some cold water spraying on those radiators after the runs, because that's a huge problem with this car is just heat management. So that's going to be one of my main goals, is to get a tank installed and some washer sprayers so we can cool that thing down. We just need to check the rear diff fluid, nut and bolt check the rest of the car, replace this front wheel bearing, and then we got a little bit of a creaky noise when you turn the steering wheel back and forth and the car's not moving. It's like, so I'll probably put that up on the 4-post, turn it back and forth, see what's going on. But other than that, one other thing we might do, if you watched any of the other videos, you'll hear Brandon talking about the e-brake. It's not comfortable to pull and it's not working real good. So it's probably something we need to address so that it's easier to pull and it's locking up the rear brakes better.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I've always liked the pull up style because I've had this conversation with people. I started street drifting in a stock car. And so I'm actually the guy that pushes the button and holds it up when I handbrake. Like it's just kind of second nature. Even on that handle, sometimes I try and push a button that doesn't exist. So I've always liked the pull up style. I think I've kind of changed now where I want the pull back style. I hate to get away from my roots that way, but I really think there's a benefit to that.
It's a little easier to grab. It's easier to pull this way than to
I've always argued that you're pulling your weight down instead of pulling yourself out of the seat.
Yeah.
But that's theory versus reality.
Yeah.
I think in reality, like I enjoy pulling this way
the
more.
The leverage works better this way.
I think I have a Chase Bays. This is a ASD handbrake, like old school, and it works well, but it doesn't do what I want it to. So I think I'm gonna change over to the Chase Bays handbrake, and then this is the rear wise fab. I bought it from Forrest Wang. It was used, but he cuts the dual caliper brackets off of them to use some bolt-on adapters. So this doesn't have the dual caliper provisions. Otherwise, I'd run the dual caliper. And right now we have suicide brakes, which is like the pedal controls the front.
And
the handbrake's dedicated to the rear, which is kind of dangerous, a little bit sketchy. Probably not legal for the rules. But I would like to run a dual caliper setup on this, and maybe I need some more stickier pads. I don't know what it is, but I think when you pull the handbrake, like jerk it like that, it should instead of like having to really reef on it to get it to go. That's all.
Yeah. Anyways, other than that, everything else is like, it's good.
It's dialed.
So, I think, I don't know if we're going to do anything to the alignment, maybe a slight alignment adjustment. We were getting a little bit more edge wear on one of the tires, but that's also depends on how the course is set up. If there's a lot of
left-hand turns,
left or right-hand turns, it wears the outside edge of the tire depending on which way it is. So that's about all I have to say. See you next time.
I guess basically what it comes down to is I built that S13 in 2000. A bunch of people helped me. People I don't even see or talk to anymore, but like people that I'll always be grateful for their help. 2010, nine. Yeah, when we started building it, I think first year of FD was 2013. So it gives you an idea. It's a 10-year-old build, like in the newest sense of it. You know, the engine's newer than that, but basically the radiator setup, the
Fuel tank
yeah, the fuel tank, all that stuff
is a problem.
was around that time. Yeah, it's all outdated stuff, and like I've got better stuff to go in it, but it's like how much effort do I put into reviving that car versus just it works right now. Why not just leave it as a time capsule and build myself a car that I really, really want to drive? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have a desire to do another full build. I want to basically challenge myself to see if I still have the ability, and like everything I've learned in the last 10 years, I haven't put into practice on anything. Like we haven't done any customer builds that are on that level, right? We've done stuff, you know what I mean? And like I've learned from doing that and like expanded my skills and knowledge from working around other people that are smarter than me. But like I would love to use my knowledge and abilities to build something new. And when I think about what chassis, what do I want, an FRS? Do I want like a
BMW?
Yeah, BMW. Like I even thought about building E46 because they're competitive, but my heart's not in that. You know, if I don't love driving this, which S chassis are the best, right?
Or a Subaru Impreza. Just kidding.
But I thought about what chassis like I could go after, and really like the thing that I love the most is that Chaser, and the fact that I jump in it right now and love driving it. So I already know that I love the car, how it looks. I already know that I love driving it. So we're basically a little more power, a quick change, a dog box, and a roll cage away from it being like
A competitive car.
Exactly what I want. And when I jump in it and I say like, dude, I feel like I could win an event in this car, and it doesn't even have a roll cage, it's pretty much stock interior and like chassis wise, other than some coilovers. Imagine if we built it into close to a pro car, you know? Like, I think I would love it. I would love driving it. Yeah, so that's kind of like, that's where it's at. I really, once things slow down, I think in the winter, I'll probably start building that car. It's already there, like it's been totaled. I got to cut the back off anyways and do a bunch of tube work, so why not, right? I've talked to Rob Parsons from Cage Kits, and he says he's gonna scan the car and he'll design me a cage that fits around my door panels. And I mean, like, what else can I ask for? You know what I mean? Like an amazing built roll cage. The car's already really, really good. It's got Wisefab in the front. It's got arms in the rear. Like, all I gotta do is swap that rear subframe with a quick change, and then probably take the dog box from the S13 and put it in there. That's it. Like, that's it. It doesn't need a tube front. It needs a tube rear. Like, it doesn't seem like that much work, and it could be really, 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 really sick. I have 2 extra body kits for it. I've got extra rear wide body fenders. Like, I have a bunch of stuff for it. So I don't see a reason not to, right? And that's kind of why I started thinking about this last hot pit. I'm like, okay, I drove the Chaser 2 consecutive weekends before that. Absolutely loved it. Was having the time of my life, throwing backies, like just felt super comfortable in it. I've even gotten used to right-hand drive, like where it doesn't even affect me at all. Like, it's just like, I'm getting really comfortable in that. So if I love driving that car, I jump in this car that's got more power, way better set up as far as like the parts it's got on it, and I didn't love driving it. What does that tell me? You know what I mean? It kind of points me where I think I need to go. So I really don't want to build another car. I do, but it's not a convenient time to have to do it. So I can't put all my eggs in one basket trying to get that done. So obviously we're going to finish the season with the S13, but I think my goal in the near future is to make the Chaser into a
Comp car.
Yeah, full competition car, wherever that might take us. You know, like next year I want to do ND Drift, I want to do Riverside Drift again, I want to do Hot Pit again. What?
Is no coast a comp?
No, I'm talking about like money comps, chasing that
purse.
Yep. Speaking of which, we got no coast coming up, and I don't know what to take. I don't want to take the pro car. The Chaser's down. Anyways,
Mustang.
Thanks for bringing that up. Let's take the Mustang.
Yeah.
Just mount some 19s and go all weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about that, Jake? Jake doesn't like it.
What?
Building the Chaser.
No, I do.
Oh, Jake likes it.
I like that car. It's like super fun.
It's cool. It's cool. My only concern, I think I've mentioned this 100 times, but like, why? I'm a working man. Blue collar and cowboy boots. Front doors. Like rear doors, I have the fiberglass doorvers. Rear fenders, I have fiberglass over fenders. Front fenders are fiberglass. I have a fiberglass hood now. The one thing that I can't get easily is our front doors. So like that's one thing I'll just have to deal with banged up doors, because you know when you're tandeming, the front doors are what gets the tire marks the most, right? When in a good tandem, you're in there on their driver's door or passenger door.
Have you decided what arrow you'd want to run?
Probably the BN. The BN arrow.
I think we should put spikes on the doors. That way, that'll like keep people from getting so close.
What are they called? A Trojan?
It's like this is put a bunch.
No, Ben-Hur. The Ben-Hur spikes.
Yeah, the Ben-Hur spikes, like on the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a name
put them
for
on the
it.
door.
Ben-Hur.
There's a name for
It's
it.
from the movie.
There's actually like a formal name for it.
The name is
spikes?
Ben-Hur spikes.
No. Everybody hear you clomping around your cowboy boots.
I wish it would autofill. Ben-Hur movie, Ben-Hur death, Ben-Hur where to watch.
Look, what are chariot spikes called?
Spice? Spikes. That's the third one down. Yeah. There it is.
Hold on.
There's your wheel right there.
All right, there we go. Yeah, okay. See, Jake and I were right.
Go down a little bit.
For what?
For the name, there's a name.
Chariot wheel. What are the spikes called?
Boudica.
Did you know that? That's not what you were
What
thinking.
are they called?
Definitely wasn't thinking Ben-Hur.
Well,
Because my mind is
if you guys know what
TV.
Jesse's thinking about, if you're from the South and you speak the same language as Jesse, leave it in the comments. What do you call them? I've always called them Ben-Hur spikes, and Google agrees with me.
I think you should. Ask the viewers to like and comment.
Oh, should I do that?
What kind of
Okay.
spikes?
Should I get on my knees and beg?
No, I don't think you should
No,
grovel. I think
okay.
you should just
regular like.
politely, because if you want to grow your channel, you got to do it.
Okay, here we go. So if you're a working man like me, and you carry a ratchet on Friday night instead of hanging out with your family, then support me. Like, subscribe, and
Comment.
and comment. Comment about the Ben-Hur spikes. But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me what you think about the Chaser. If you think I should stick with the S13, I'm an S chassis guy through and through. I have been my whole life, my whole driving life.
Cooper hatch.
Cooper hatch.
Yeah, which one's better?
It's not even an argument
I
there.
feel like the coupe is more rigid, right?
It doesn't matter. Once you cage it, it's all the same. I have a soft spot for both of them. But tell me what you think about the Toyota idea, doing the Chaser. What do you think? Are going to be some hurdles, or just tell me if you love the Chaser or if you love the S13 more.
All right.
Team Edward or Team Jerry?
Dude, you had to take it there. It's so weird.
Jacob. Yep, I'm that old.
Team J.
All right.
Right here.
Team Jacob.
Bye, guys. That's all. Mountain Dew. It was better when it was cold.